Welcome back, everyone. Hello, I'm Chef JT. Happy to see all of you back. Hi there, Will Poker. Welcome in, Shadows. Hi there, JK. What's happening? Happy Sunday to all of you. It's stew time. I just realized something. I didn't check if the GoPro's on. Let's see, are you on? Nope, I don't think the GoPro's turned on. Give me a moment on that. Hey, Zeeks. Yeah, it sounds like it. Like, Tuesday is like prime get things done day. Yeah, and now I gotta refresh the source in OBS in a way that chat doesn't really see. It did it by itself. How nice. Hello, Nanmeter. Have they ruled? I haven't been paying much attention to the news today. I wouldn't expect them to do anything on Sunday. It's Sunday. I know they were hinting towards that idea. Has that stopped them from trying before? I really just don't know what the trigger is going to be on this madness. Whether it's going to be auto loan, subprime loans. If it's going to be this craziness with the Supreme Court you're referring to there, Zeeks. Or... because if they have to repay those tariffs, like, on one hand, you know, like, yeah, tariffs, not a fan myself. And on the other hand, reeling that all back after what it did to the market the first time. But hey, is anyone interested in a 50-year bond? Or how about Jensen saying that China won the AI war? Like, there's just so, like... I've said before that I can doom with the best of, like... I don't even have to these days. But the thing that keeps me nice and happy is all of you showing up. Thank you for hanging out with me. Cheers. Oh no, that was... He's straight up, like... He doesn't believe that we're going to keep up with the power game. Like, he believes that we're going to have a good first push when we actually need it for this. But when it comes to the second and third rounds, China being everything controlled by China, they're just going to spend it, whereas we're going to have dithering back and forth. Which sounds about right. We got these cutesies tonight. These are our winter squash for tonight. You can also use butternut squash if you can't find honey nut squash, I believe was the term they had for these. Could also use acorn squash. Can use all sorts of them. Different squashes. We need to get going with our beef here first. We need to sear our beef off and get that cooking. Yum. What'd you do with the salmon? Please tell me you didn't just boil it. I don't expect that answer for you. That was sort of an inside joke, or a joke. I sure expect you have blackened it or something. Nice. That sounds all delicious. What's your chili secrets? Tell everyone. We're going to add some seasoning in with our beef here. Not just go with salt and pepper for our initial sear. So we'll start off with some onion powder, garlic powder. Salt. Pepper. Yeah, I like ancho. I use paprika more than the ancho, but ancho's great for giving some nice, like, background, almost not quite smokiness, but almost smokiness. So we'll give this all a stir up together and get that pepper and salt and onion and garlic intermixed. Hey, Shadows. And start heating the pan up here and back. Ooh, Zeke's puts beans in his chili. Or their chili. His chili. Don't want to presume. I think we've gone over this, and I just don't. I apologize to everyone in chat. Memory. So we're going to add some AP flour in here too. I think that was plenty. We just wanted a nice, real light coat on all of this just to help get it cooking and trap any of the moisture that's on the outside of them to begin with. Go over here to the stove. We're not smoking here yet? Yeah, I've got a couple of different types of chili in the menu here, especially on the 21st, doing chili burgers and chili cheese fries, and chili cheeseburgers and chili cheese fries. That sort of a thing. Yeah, you need like a almost more like a coney sauce. Shadows, this is going to take, the beef I would do a minimum of 2 hours. Ideally, you want to give it 2.5 to 3, and you can give it much longer. Cooking low and slow. You can do this dish in a slow cooker. If you're someone that can set up the slow cooker or go to work and come back and have dinner ready, this is a great dish for that. As far as here in the place, like, it's gonna take me, like I said, 2 to 3 hours here. So whether that's a weekday or a weekend thing for you, I cook 4 nights a week on stream, so it's sort of a normal thing for me. That was Zeke's. We have the lovely Venomous Shadows in YouTube chatting with me as well as all of you in Twitch. So we'll start in on our first searing. So you can see there's no real, like, white from the flour on the outside of these. They're sort of tacky because of the flour, but they were asking if this was more of a weekend cook thing or a weekday cook. Which, like I was saying, if you got a slow cooker or something along that line, and, like, just sear the beef and you're going, oh, we need to work on our focus here tonight. Oops. It still sounds like a great meal for the week there, though. All of those sound like great dishes. It also sounds like you're planning for part of next week, too, because you said every time you do beans and rice, it's like a week of stuff. Yeah, everyone, if you're getting the Walmart Thanksgiving dinner deal, even though it's 24% cheaper, keep in mind, no pie. You got to buy a pie if you want pie. Hi, Soph. Nice. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to end up doing for Thanksgiving. I am going to be streaming on Thanksgiving this year. I've worked around the schedule. I am not going to be streaming Ingredient Challenge Day that day or that Friday, but I will be streaming that Thursday instead. I initially got rid of the Wednesday because I figured Thursday was probably going to be a big deal. And then I realized Thursday was probably going to be a big deal, which means I'm probably going to have a bunch of food left over, and Friday is probably not a good plan. So that's how I got to that solution. Might have to fill in for a couple of those. I don't like losing stream days like that. Touch more oil. Let's load her back up. And that one's like, on one hand, smoked turkey is amazing. Like, I love smoked turkey as far as like going on sandwiches and stuff like that. I really don't like sliced ham, so if I'm doing deli meats, it's probably turkey. And so I'm a fan of smoked turkey. I just worry that when I hear smoked turkey, I immediately think dried or too dry, and that's always the thing with turkey. Like, it's such a lean bird, and smoking is not a slow term thing. You can cold smoke it, which is probably the only way that I would want it done to get a solid flavor on it. That said, I've been to a couple of smoke places. I'd be like, I trust them with turkey. I probably have trouble doing it myself at home because I'd be like basting the thing in bacon fat every 15 minutes, sort of a thing. What's up, bot? Wait, what are you trying to tell? Oh, I'm just realizing now that was because of how YouTube breaks up sentences. On Twitch, those of you on Twitch, if you notice the chat summary there from the past hour there, it ends with talk, comma, fam. Over on YouTube, that got broken down onto a second message because their message length is shorter on YouTube. And so there was a message from the bot in YouTube that says, talk fam. It's like ordering chat what to do. Silly bot. Hey, is this working properly still? Or did the bot break this too? No, cool. It's actually working. Nice. It's the last of the beef in there. Hey, Alex, welcome in. How is Ohio treating you? We're searing beef. Beef. I hope you're keeping warm. Hey, Ozzy. In the same respects, how is SoCal treating you, Ozzy? It's been a little more chilly around here. I mean, it's winter, but it's not the Midwest. I see you, big Midwest storm. I'm thankfully not in the Philippines either right now. Do we have any people chiming in with drama about Chivegate? Where's my Redditors? It was in the morning, wasn't it, Alex? Alright, I'm just going to get this beef immediately going here. We're going to... let's just do straight water for starts. go over here and grab Bouillon Cube. Mad at myself earlier. I went out shopping today, and the one thing that I needed to get from the store that I went special to today, I didn't get. I didn't get the ham hock that I needed for tomorrow. Without a ton of water in there, it's a lot easier to scrape up everything off the bottom from the beef and get all that flavor in there. Then we'll add the rest of the water in there. Also allows me to break that up in this. That was about a cup of water that I used to get the fond off of the bottom of the pan. And let's do a whole nother 2 cups there, though I'm going to cook out probably at least a cup here while we're simmering this beef. And then we'll add our beef back in. I want all those beef juices too. So grab the spatula. My brain still doesn't register that the camera sees me over here yet. Like it's so used to after the last 5-6 years of this being my private space away from the other cameras. It's no longer private. And then I backed up and it disappeared. Is it actually flipping properly over here? Okay. Good, it is. Other veggies time now. While that's cooking, and take our time with everything else here. I think I have a half onion in here that I should use up. I do. It's not even AI. Like, it's marketing saying AI. I 100% vibe coded the entire GitHub page for that. Like, it completely wrote all of that. It's actually using, I'm forgetting the term of it off the top of my head. But it's it's not an AI service, it is a Google service. It's a Google API for the actual face detection. I'm debating if this is enough onion for this project tonight. Yeah. Might throw a red onion in there too. No. Let's see how fungusy it is. It's looking like it's probably gone. Trying to make the best of this onion, which is not the best onion. We're cutting away easily 60-70% of it here to get to the heart of things. I appreciate that, Shadows. How long you've been hanging out my streams for quite a while. And get rid of the leaves. We can maybe use them as garnish at the end. We'll save them for garnish at the end. And I don't have like any extra spare parsley or anything along that line, so these will work nicely for that. We'll chop them up and give them a little nice bright green freshness to the finish. My typical go-to cooking oil is sunflower, since it's among the cheapest of the organic available oils, which that changes constantly, but it's also answering YouTube, by the way. It's also got the smallest footprint to grow of any of the oils commercially grown. And a lot of it's produced by Ukraine. That isn't be-all, end-all as far as my oils, but that is what I use for my general-purpose cooking oil. Nice. Getting kids hooked on healthy food's always a good plan. I almost like this better for beef anyways. I mean, parsley goes pretty well with beef, but celery really goes well with beef. So, like, this is great option for garnish. Bit of that fresh celery flavor in there. Not dumb questions. I do have a calendar. It should be linked down below in the doobly-doo. Or you can join in the Discord where there are listed there in upcoming events, or chefjt.com. Don't have upcoming streams listed there. That is on my list of things to add. However, there's many things that I'm planning on changing there. Everything's up in the air again. Need that NAS working again. Now we gotta deal with our cutesy little squash. Which, these need to be peeled. You know, I can feel it even just touching that now with my wet hand. We're putting a glove on my holding hand here, because I don't feel like losing skin to melon juice or squash juices. If you're unfamiliar or haven't dealt with a lot of butternut squash or any squashes along this line, I don't know which ones do and don't. A fair number of squash, like butternut, you handle them a lot with the skin off. You get the juice from them on your hands. It sort of absorbs in your hand or into your skin. It discolors your skin sort of yellow, the sort of butternut color, and then it dries out and dies off. It's not pleasant if you deal with a whole bunch of it, and like I said, I'm even grabbing a glove here just for peeling these. Though I might just have to use a knife on these. Sorry to hear that, Muskeg, but now you know. G.I. Joe. Thanks for joining in, Venom. Have you had pumpkin pie? If you've had sweet potatoes, you're in the same neighborhood. Still talking to YouTube. Hey, Climb. Hmm. This one's holding on to its skin pretty well. I haven't worked with the squash before. I just thought they were very cutesy. I didn't want a whole butternut, so instead I bought 2 smaller ones. I'm planning on cooking the squash directly in the stew tonight. I'm not roasting it separate. I'm not going to add the oven to my sweating issues tonight. With the beef, you want to be cooking it lower than this, so we don't need to be boiling this hot. I haven't been looking at it closely. Let's give this a stir. You just want it simmering or just under a boil. Lazy boil, a couple bubble every couple of minutes sort of a thing. And then you want to keep it there and cook it for a decent amount of time. Like I said, at least 2 hours. And that way the beef, initially it seizes up as you sear it, and then it relaxes. It also can dry out if you're cooking it too hot, too long. That's why we're keeping it lower. And it shouldn't be I want to lower this maybe even a little bit more. Just a light bubble. Let's see if you're gonna peel by hand nicely. Nope. This thing is next to dead though too. But this is the stuff you don't want to get all over your skin. The sap or whatever it releases. This lovely bubblage on the top of that. It's a little tough for that. Apple has a lot more give than this. This can, if you heard it a couple of times earlier when I was going into this one, you saw the breaks there. It's got some strength to it. But yeah, it is something that you could probably do that if you're one of those paring knife cut everything type people. Just not my thing, and I don't think it's nearly as safe of a thing to suggest to the public. Generally, it's always safer to put it on a flat surface and and de-seed these over the trash can. Just scraping it out with the spoon. Not saving the seeds to roast them. You can if you want to. You can add carrot to your stew if you would like. I'm going to skip carrot tonight because I sort of think the squash is in the same neighborhood as carrot. It's definitely not the same, but they both add some of the same sweetness. And I don't want to... It's a beef stew. I don't want to overdo the sweetness, and this is going to end up being, if only because of the squash, a sweeter beef stew. Okay, squash is prepped. I'm going to ditch the black glove now. Salt this all up. This smells amazing. Over on the other side of the stove here, we're going to go ahead and heat up this other pan and get a little oil in that. And that's going to be for our onions here in a moment. The salt on the squash is going to start pulling out some of the moisture from the squash and sort of start help breaking it down. Even though it's too early for me to want to put it in the stew, we can still do a little bit to help it along. I could have paused before adding water and the beef into the stew and getting that starting cooking. I'm doing this separately off in a separate pan for time reasons. That way we have this up and boiling while I was given a little more extra time to take my time cutting the onion and everything else. Didn't have to be in there. It's a cast iron pan, so we're going to get a lot of good flavor out of it doing it in the other pan. love that smell combo. Like, onions on its own is amazing in a pan. You add that butter to that, it's just... Maybe just me with that one, but... Ultimate onions in a pan smell is with butter and garlic, but need the butter. My last banana's looking pretty sad, chat. I don't know if it's gonna make it till tomorrow morning. That tip's looking pretty sad. Celery going in with the onions. Yep, so absolutely. Meanwhile, over on the other side over here, we're going to hit this a little Worcestershire. We can do it out of this one. Yeah. Little olive brine. Soy sauce. Some of our homemade Dijon. I wish there was a captions option for food, like, that, you know, didn't put words like silver in there. I have no idea what it was, but there was something about the chia seed, the dinner stream. I just kept hitting a wall after time trying to get that recipe generated, because there was something in that stream, just one small thing somewhere in that stream that kept flagging the security protocol with the AI, and it kept turning, like, thinking I was trying to do something malicious, generating a recipe. Starting to get some color. We're getting close here with the onions. And celery. Let's do a little garlic powder in there too. Messy. Getting some nice color going here now. Keeping that one. Oh, by the way, for all the scramblers out there, there's at least 500 new words in the Scramble dictionary tonight. We're well over 2,000 words in the Scramble dictionary now. All right, adding the onions and celery in with the rest of this deliciousness. So we got all those onions in there now. All that celery in there. Let's add our squash in there too. This is a little early for the squash. The onion and celery, I'm okay with that cooking a bit longer. Let's hold off on this. Let's give the beef at least another 30 minutes here, I think, before we want to add this in. Our square of squash. Rectangle of squash. Ooh, I got an alert on Twitch. What's my notification on Twitch? Oh. Meh. Oh, hey, there was supposed to be some peppers in this stew, wasn't there? That totally escaped my mind until just now. I don't know why, but it did. So let's get the peppers prepped that I have in the fridge. Ad break. We'll get to the peppers after the ad break. I forgot we were waiting on ads. I went and started cutting the pepper. Got ahead of myself. What should I make for Thanksgiving, chat? What wacky, wild, and crazy ideas do all of you have? I'm not making turducken. Just putting that out there, that's not happening. I've talked about turducken before. I sort of feel like it does nothing to improve any of the parts of turducken. Like, properly roasted turkey, it's going to taste better. Properly roasted duck, it's going to taste better. Properly roasted chicken, it's going to taste better. And lastly, I mean, I know it's Thanksgiving, but how much meat do you think I really need? Oh yeah, they sell them too. I think I've even seen one done in a can. But it gets much worse than that. Because the true gluttons of America couldn't stop at stuffing a turkey. And so there are versions of lamb and a pig inside of a cow. And things like ridiculousness like that occurs too. I forget the term for that, but there's actually a term for that too, along the lines of turducken. Turporkin? Yeah, that sounds along like what I was saying there. Like, it's not enough we go with a turkey that takes 9 months to grow. We gotta go bigger. Get some more oil heating up over here. We'll turn that beef down just a touch. Green pepper going in the pan. Alright, jalapeno going in with the green pepper. Salt. More garlic. Pepper. And again, we'll transfer the peppers. Now that they got a little color, a little cook on them, separate from everything else. We'll move them over to the other side here. Take the flame off first. Take another cup of water. And get all that flavor. A lot of it's probably just oil, but it's oil that's flavored. Let's see where we're at here with things. How's our beef looking? Beef definitely needs a while longer here. I think this is where we come to excuse me, jalapeno getting into my sinuses there. Now we've come to sort of waiting point here. We got to cook this beef stew a bit longer, and then we got to add the squash, then we got to cook it even longer. Sinuses rather than ES? ES. I'm guessing you might have missed that meme. There was a... Hey, Mana. Oh... Was it a TikTok? Was it a Vine? Where... wife asks husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. One asks the other, YES spells yes. What does EYES spell? EYES. And for the longest time, the husband or the dude there being asked what eyes, the pronunciation, and he just kept there saying ES. Yeah, rip Vine. Like, I mean, TikTok is nothing but a straight up copy of what Vine was. I think it's slightly longer in length, but, I mean, it's the same thing. It's just owned by the Chinese after the US decided that they didn't want it themselves, I think. Nice, Mana. Welcome, Fluffy. So I think we're just chilling here for another 10-20 minutes before I want to add the squash in there, and then I want to give us probably a good 40 minutes simmering with this squash in there. Excuse me. Got the hiccups or something going now. First it was the jalapenos driving my sinuses mad. Now it's... I can't breathe. Chinese for dinner? What type of Chinese do you have? Like, that already looks delicious to me. And we haven't even added the squash in there. Yeah. Oh, his nose. Hope he gets something to eat. Was it Shoyolicious? Like that jalapeno really, it really got to my sinuses. Pot stickers. I sort of failed the pot stickers last time I made them. They stuck to my pot too much. Pot stickers were a staple back in my frozen food days, which we're probably returning to my frozen food days, but in a different term. I'm probably going to be buying a little bit more veg frozen than I have been. I think that's my next step at knocking down food costs around here. Like the broccoli, the cauliflower. But definitely pot stickers were early days, like late college, early on my own days. Working long hours and just grabbing whatever I can to keep going. Pot stickers were a big one. Just about anything fried rice, pot stickers. Not so much ramen. I got into ramen actually a little bit later. Like, a bunch of people in school and college were all about ramen, but frozen peas and carrots are big. Like, that's... I did switch to doing canned corn over frozen corn lately, though, because with the Warehouse Club having canned corn at a decent price, if I buy frozen corn, I'm going to use like at least half a bag, sort of a thing. It ends up being more than I would with just a can, and so it's probably a little bit better for me portion-wise to be using cans. But frozen corn, big fan of frozen corn. Like, the best way to have fresh corn is having frozen in the field corn. Mushrooms, it depends. For me, if you can get good mushrooms, like, we have great mushrooms here, but if your quality of mushrooms that you have are fresh, are not that great, go dried. Dried, like, unless you're doing something where you want that texture, you want it in like a fresh salad or something like that, dried ones are typically much more economical and will sit on your shelf for ages, that sort of a thing. Ew. at the same time, like, some of this stuff with insects and stuff is just like, if you're doing any major production, like even a family farm, I'm like, there's no chance that you're filtering that out. Like, frozen foods are great and convenient, but like all other foods, make sure you're getting whole foods. Not Amazon branded foods. I mean, like, yeah, too much processed food in America. I also sort of think of a lot of frozen stuff as being, hey, here's the starch aisle. Like, they're dinner entrees and stuff like that, but there's some of the least protein-filled items in the, you know, you get the corn dogs there and nothing but corn. There's no dog there, sort of a thing. The items that are in the frozen area of a supermarket, like veggies, straight proteins, and even then questionably if it's like Tyson or something like that that puts 20% water in their products. Gnats or flies, that's one of those really hard ones. The other ones are, there's an insect that gets in rice that's incredibly hard to filter out too. I mean, all you have to have is one egg on, you know, the inside of those mushrooms for it to, you know, create a problem. Or a couple of eggs, but... And when you're going through... I've seen... I don't know how many of you have seen the, like... how it's made type thing for mushrooms or stuff like that, where they come through and they basically have bandsaws that just saw everything off of the mushrooms off the top of the field. They grow them in like racks. Well, this particular company was like growing them in like racks, and the racks, they were taking the racks off and could just run this like bandsaw like item over the top of them and just take all the fruit, the mushroom fruit off the top. A lot of mushroom packaging has holes in it too. Like, even if it's plastic wrap, it'll have holes in it. And so, like, it could even be like while it was on the truck, while it was in the grocery store. Not saying the ones that you did, but... Trying to think of anything else here we can throw into this while we're getting this going, but I think we're pretty much there. We just need to let this cook and let this beef become delicious and break down a bit. For anyone just joining in, hello. We've got our beef stew well along here. We started off searing off our beef that was lightly flour coated and lightly seasoned. Get a nice sear on all of that, added a whole bunch of water in there, some more seasoning, and then separately off to the side, I added the water to the beef to get the beef cooking. I've cooked the onions, celery, green pepper, jalapenos. We've added a fair amount of garlic seasoning in there. And that's where we're at with that. Over on the cutting board, we have honey nut squash. Cutesy little mini butternuts that are locally grown. I picked up 2 of those, and I spent some time cleaning those up. And so that's what we have here. This has been salted, so it's pulling a little moisture out of it. It's looking a little wet. That's entirely because of the salt. And then I chopped up all of the leaves from the celery, and we'll use that for garnish. Oh, captions. Those are some other things we can add in here. I didn't think about those. Let's do bay leaf. 2 because they're small. And dried thyme. He dances with felines. Oh, FAA is suspending the MD-11 now. After the UPS crash. I had already read that FedEx and UPS had stopped flying them, but checking out local events with the bots feeding me. Wendy's to close 300 underperforming locations. Frozen food processing machinery market set to surge 33.48 billion by 2034. What financial company is pushing that nonsense? Yeah. If AI doesn't destroy the world by then. 20% chance. Alright, I'm not going to talk about solar brewed coffee. That was about it else that I saw there. What's there in the mainstream news? Wildfire in Sonoma County I didn't hear about. Probably in the middle of nowhere. Let's see where in Sonoma this was. Private land. I've seen solar ovens and stuff like that that is set to be able to boil water by amplifying sunlight. I figure it's just something along that line. So I think I am going to go ahead and add our squash in there now. We're going to let this cook another 40 minutes from this point. This is raw, uncooked squash at this point. We're cooking it entirely in the stew tonight. So it's still hard, like there's bits of a potato in there. They did a solar oven thing on Top Chef at one point. I think they've done it a couple of times. Build a teleporter. Put my name on the patent. I'll cook stuff for your life. Yeah, I might get into legal fights with the ice cream company, though. Ice cream freezer company. I don't know what all Taylor Freezers gets into. Typically it does mana. You either have to charge something which takes longer, and it's still a quick method, and maybe you're heating up a giant cast iron pan so that you can saute things. But yeah, it takes a while to heat it up. And like, you can magnify things and get like a pinpoint of heat, but it's like cooking with a laser. I shouldn't joke about that because there's all sorts of food printers and stuff out there that I can't afford or really have the interest in buying and having take up the space in my house. But like the food world, like the 3D printing thing is sort of got its foothold in the home market, but like we're gonna see some crazy 3D printed food. They're already working on it. They already got some of it. They got people that are like baking 3-dimensional cookies and stuff like that. Absolutely. You have people doing things with like pancake batter. You have people doing things with like different cookie batters. All sorts of different things. You just have to think about it as, from a food perspective, as far as all the way through from beginning to end. People are making custom machines for specific things. Like, I could imagine a 3D printer being able to, essentially 3D print meat paste and drop it into a fryer. If anyone's seen those 3D model machines that use like a sheet of paper and then drop it into a block of resin or glue, you do the same thing with meat, just with fry oil. Put a new layer, drop it lower in the fry, put a new layer, drop it lower in the fry, put a new layer, drop it lower in the fry. Let's set a timer here so I don't forget my simmer time here. But I'm forgetting the name of the restaurant, but I've seen restaurants, I posted one of them in Discord, that's 3D printing, plates or serveware to fashion it to the design of what they're serving. Their website says pure, pristine, unadulterated, complete, happy soy protein, bro. I'm just are they trying to be alpha? Are they trying to be cowboy, or are they trying to be a hippie? Like, it's sort of like, what? Exactly, Scramble. A 3D printer with force meat. Actually, even more likely than that, I think, when it comes to meat, would be when it comes to pâtés and the cold kitchen stuff. Like, terrines, pâtés, and the artwork meat world. That's absolutely a place for 3D printers. That's feeling a bit like stew stirring around. It's like stew with cold potatoes in it, but it's like stew. San Francisco's most awarded bar is now opening its first restaurant. Alright, you got me with your clickbait, SF Gate. Make sure this is muted. Let's see here. What are they selling? What are they selling? What's the top cocktail bar in San Francisco going to be selling for food? Kale salad. Well, it's San Francisco, so yeah. There's a hot dog joint. Meh. Are you saying it's Soylent, Zeeks? That's not what I pushed, Stream Deck. Come on. Let's go, Discord. Speaking of Soylent and AI taking over the world, I forget if this has sound. They're ready for us already. Also from the Discord. Another close vote. This one closes tomorrow, whether it's canned pumpkin or Warheads candy for Wednesday. Yeah, dances. It's on the sweeter side. I would put it right there with sweet potatoes, maybe slightly sweet, slightly less sweet than sweet potatoes. Often have some of those same spicy like flavors to it, little nutmeggy, little cinnamony, but not really. Like it's not. But I'm not adding any nutmeg. I might add a little nutmeg into my beef stew otherwise, but with this, I'm skipping the carrot. We're just going with the squash in there instead of the carrot. It's in the cans for canned to be delicious. It has been for a while. Dances with a Feline. Or, sorry, from Zeke's. I've also made pumpkin pie on stream before. See, I made pumpkin pie before on stream. If I remember correctly, and it sort of looks like it's still up on my screen, I think that was a cream cheese and pumpkin pie. There's little bits of cheese in that, I think. I was debating doing bread tonight, Dance of the Feline. I decided against it. I'm going to be doing split pea soup. I'm going to do bread tomorrow night. Yeah, Muskeg, I've done that a couple of times. I've added cream cheese into my pumpkin pie mixture to enrichen it. Buttermilk powder is a nice one in there too. If you get that tang or yogurt. I don't know that I'd go sour cream, but can never have too much cream cheese though. Like cream cheese is it's more of a cream cheese is so expensive that do you want to spend it on that? Yeah, I mean, sauces, fillings, dips, like so many uses. I mean, cheesecake, so many uses for cream cheese. Fruit dips. cream cheese frosting. Maybe you got too many carrots too. Maybe it's one of those products that's gotten cheaper comparatively recently. I don't know. That said, us America, like, we're the cause of so many things in that area. No, we need fractions. You can't have decimals. We want fractions. $2.1. Ah, come on. Stay on the timer. There we go. Hopefully you got all the dry stuff out from the rain. Yeah, rain's probably better than snow. The snow's probably better than freezing rain. Don't know what type of rain you're having. And it can be really annoying when it rains and then snows, and then you get the black ice underneath the snow. I should make sure that I'm not lying when I'm saying that. Let's make sure we got the right file linked here. For, let's see, actions. I'm still not used to the new streamer bot setup. It's so different. Scramble. Is it under the basic scramble or is it under the detection? It's probably at the beginning. It is. Yeah, there it is. Documents? Where did I save that? I did not change the file name, so we're using the old. Let's fix that right quick. Cool. So now the next time the scramble runs, it'll pick a word from the larger dictionary. $500 more words in there. In case any of you were getting bored with the selection from before. Alright, I am going to peace out for 15 minutes here. I will be in chat, but I'm just going to let the stew bubble here. Bring this back down over my head. I'll put it in the middle, actually. And I shall see you folks back here in about 15 minutes. Hi there. I'm back. Let's see how our stew is looking. Ooh, we got a minor stickage in the bottom. Squash is feeling much softer. I think I got all the stuff stuck off of the bottom. That just means we've cooked things through nicely and they're starting to thicken up a bit. The squash is squashing. It's also softening. Beef is squishing too. Oh yeah, beef is squishing. That was our initial timer on everything. I'm going to go ahead and pull the bay leaves out as I see them. There's one more hidden in here somewhere. Oh well, it's somewhere. Oh, there it is. Rice definitely Cajun thing. Nice beef stew, you don't need no rice. That's what our squash is for. Our squash is our starch here. That bowl isn't clean enough for me to use for dinner tonight, so we're going to skip that. We're going to go with one of you. I don't use this scoop enough. I've had this spoon for a long time. I don't hardly ever use it because it's so long. So for those just joining in and unsure what you're looking at here, this is a squash, pepper, and beef stew that has been simmering now for several hours. And I just forgot something. I forgot two things. I wasn't ready to plate this. Why did I do this? I wasn't ready for this. So we're going to pour this back in. Get the bowl rinse. Rice definitely spreads things, but like I said, we have our own starch here too. We have all that squash in there. Or potatoes. I would much more often put potatoes in a beef stew than squash. Squash is just sort of the fall festive thing to do. So two things that we needed to add here. One was those, the other one was some butter. So we'll drop a cube of butter in there. stir that in. And we'll drop our celery leaves in there. Now we'll plate. Ooh, it's got a bit of a kick from those jalapenos. Both bell peppers and jalapenos as far as our peppers in there. Sort of feel like I should make this look a little more prominent with all the thick stuff in here. There, that looks a little more squashy and beefy. What did I do with you? Did I use you? There you are. So there we have our dinner for tonight. Nice hearty fall stew. Tomorrow night we're going to be doing split pea soup with a smoked ham hock. Good stuff. We're in the middle of split pea soup if anyone's a fan. It's your week. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow night. Also going to be doing bread for along with that. I hadn't decided 100% what type of bread I wanted to do, but we're going to do bread. So I hope you come back to join me for that. I showed you the vote earlier on in Discord between... What do we got? I've already forgotten. It's canned pumpkin versus Warhead's candy. We've gotten a couple of votes during stream tonight. Continuing to be a close fight. So Wednesday it could be canned pumpkin or it could be Warheads. Ooh. I actually think both of those have won before. Not 100% in canned pumpkin, but I've definitely used canned pumpkin on stream. But this is where I'm going to leave things for this fine evening. I am going to raid out tonight. At least I think I'm going to. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to send all you lovely folks off. Go hang out with Meg After Dark. Another food and drink creator. Doing borders. Sounds delicious. Again, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me tonight. I had a fun night tonight. I had fun chatting with all of you. I hope to see you all back here tomorrow night. Good night, folks.